All right, guys, you can see we've got a nice circuit set up today. Ready to get after it this week. Special week because it is a deload week, 13 weeks out. We'll talk about how to deload properly towards the middle to the end of the video. I'm not sure exactly where that's going to go yet, but we're going to talk about it in a minute. Ready to get after it. Running a little bit behind, but I'm feeling good, feeling recovered from Saturday. And yeah, let's get after it. What's up, guys? We got good week of training going so far. This is actually Wednesday morning, but I hope you guys enjoyed the clips from Monday circuit. Here is Tuesday's workout along with the Strava. Absolutely dominated that interval run. Couldn't be happier about that. If you haven't seen my video a couple weeks ago about how to dominate interval training, go watch that. This is kind of a similar video. We're going to talk about a different topic. But again, we compared our interval runs, the one on, one off, to what we kind of did last time. And way better. Last time we had to walk, came out way too hot. And in all honesty, our on paces weren't that much faster than what we were doing yesterday. So really pleased with that progress, especially for me. That's huge. But especially because when I started, I couldn't even do a one on, one off interval training. The lifts we kind of changed this week just for the sake of the deload. We're talking about kind of the direction we want the programming to go after this next block once we do the ISO. So that's going to be fun to see. Hope you guys stay tuned for that. But the topic this week's deload, right? So this is a deload week, and all a deload is refreshing or giving yourself a rest to kind of reset. And it's more than just physical, right? When we lift, different hormones and receptors in our brains get activated. So obviously, just like anything, the more your brain is exposed to it, the less effect it has. So adrenaline, for instance, the more and more we have, the more it's going to take to get that same stimulus. Same with our body. And so all a deload is giving your body time to kind of take a step back so that you can get results with the same stimulus again. So to do that, there's a couple ways you can deload. There's three options. Personally, I don't like the third one, but I think depending on kind of how you feel, like if you're physically beat up, that might be a good option. But the first option is to reduce the volume. So you keep the intensity the same, basically the weights, percentage of weights, RPE, you keep all that the same. The only difference is you cut back the volume. So if you're doing 3 sets of 6, you may do 3 sets of 3 with that same weight. 4 sets of 10, 4 sets of 5, or even 2 sets of 10. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how you do that there with the volume. Second way, I like the volume method. It keeps me lifting heavy. Usually I do cut back a little bit with the intensity when I do that, which is okay. I'll explain what we did this week in a minute. But the second way to deload is you cut back on the intensity. Keep volume the same, just pull back a little bit on the effort. So if you're going 90% for 6 sets of 3, you'll go 6 sets of 3, but maybe 70%, 75% focusing on speed. And again, you probably are going to naturally pull back a little bit of the volume. And the third way is you decrease both. For me, the only reason you would do that is if you're hurt. You might do it a little bit, but like a drastic decrease, you're not going to do unless you're hurting, completely burnt out, you just competed, something like that. Otherwise, you're kind of just, you're not wasting your time. You'll still get something out of it, but it's not going to be as effective as if you if you just mess with one of the variables there. So what we've done is we decreased the volume. So our wave, we've been doing 2 waves of 5-4-3. As you saw yesterday, we did 2 waves of 2-2-1. And on the accessories, we just did 1 wave. So we just cut the volume in half. The intensity was about the same. We have a VBT, and so all we were doing was we were keeping the intensity high, keeping our intent high. We're just making sure we're staying above a certain speed so we weren't overexerting ourselves. So, you know, I might have cut back 20 pounds on squat. That's not really a decrease in intensity, given that I was trying to move it faster than I was the week before. All we really did was cut back the volume. And it'll be the same tomorrow when we start bench. So that's basically the 3 basic ways to deload. Obviously, you can play around with it a little more. With the running, we've just cut back the volume. Again, so we're cutting out the speed day entirely because it's a different beast. But the intervals, we changed the workout to be 1 on 1 off so we can keep the speed high since we're not getting a critical velocity day. But we cut back the sets. So we've been doing 40 minutes of actual interval training. Yesterday was only 20 minutes and then we had the warm up and cool down. So just cutting back a little bit of the volume with the intensity, but our intent was still high. And I would argue our intensity was even higher because with the shorter intervals, we were running a little faster than we would had it been a 5-minute interval. And then we'll have a normal long run this week. So we just cut back a little bit of the weekly volume, kept the intensity the same, heading into the next block. We'll have another deload before our next sim. And then that's when we're talking about what direction we want to go with the scheduling and things like that, because our schedules are about to get hectic. And also want to make sure we're not just beating a dead horse. So hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, have questions, leave them in the comments. Thank you guys for following along. Hope you keep following along. Rest of the video is some training clips from yesterday. Yeah, Tuesday's lift, which again, up in the corner with the Strava. And I'll see you guys at the end of the week.